Welcome to Metaphysical Soul Speak. I'm your host, Elena Fox Starks. Hey guys, I hope you're doing really well in this moment in time, and that whenever and wherever you happen to be, regardless of what vibe you're vibing to, whether you're wearing black and listening to gothic rock, or maybe you're wearing blue and you're listening to the blues, no matter what music you're listening to, or what colors you're wearing, or what vibe you are vibrating at right now, I hope that you are able to bring into your world the manifestations that you are seeking. Now, I know this week we have talked about this a lot. I actually channeled for 2 nights in a row from Prime Creator 2 nights ago and from the Arcturian Council last night. And both channelings brought us some new information. The new information being how to manifest what it is that we want, what we desire, but with very different methods. And I think they're going to dovetail nicely into each other, don't you? I've been really excited about these methods. Now, last night after I finished and I published the show, and I'm laying in bed trying to think about my light body and light, and I felt very light. The Arcturian Council had great advice about breathing in and breathing out, and then you just kind of vibe with the thing that you want to have in your life. Now, your manifestations could be that you want to manifest a cup of coffee, like Dr. Joe Vitale says in The Secret. Start small, manifest a cup of coffee. Remember that when he said that? Or you can manifest a house or a new shirt, or, like my oldest always says, if I can manifest anything, I think I'd manifest a really good burrito. You can manifest a new car, or a new job, a new love, anything that you want. But I think if you try these new methods, it's possible they're going to come faster. Now, we're definitely in the 5th dimension, and we're in a place where the manifestations can come really, really rapidly. So I've manifested, quite a bit in my life in the past few weeks. I've manifested things that I needed and things that I really wanted. Like, I manifested some money, which I had no idea I had money coming, but unfortunately somebody in my life died, and I'm getting an inheritance. Now, I haven't gotten it yet. It's going to take months to settle the estate, but the exact same amount of money that I was left is the exact same amount of money I've been trying to manifest for 2 months. Oh my God. I mean, it just blew my mind. So I guess I'm going to keep trying to manifest more because I will need to manifest enough to continue my beautiful lifestyle here in Ecuador. Okay, it's not a luxurious lifestyle. It's a normal lifestyle. But I want to manifest, paying rent, eating, having a little bit of extra, and just having a generally comfortable life while still waiting for the quarantine to go away. And every Friday, we have a tendency to manifest for others what others need or what we perceive they need. When we do the Earth Changes Report and the weekly Weird World News Report, which is today, yay! It's one of my favorite episodes I do every week, and it's always different, of course, because things change in the world. But there's always places that flood, so we send them sunshine, and there's always places with other issues like fires, and we send them rain. And no matter what is going on in the world, if people are suffering, we just send them a lot of love. So I like to look at what's been going on with the space weather. I like to look at what's been going on with earthquakes and volcanoes, because there is a correlation to what's happening outside of our planet and how that energy affects our planet. And in a way, that's also a manifestation. So I've been really trying to manifest a few things in my life, and I'm so grateful that all this information is coming. Now, last year I channeled the Lyrans and I channeled the Arcturians before, as well as the Pleiadians, Michael Shearhan of Ashtar Command and the Pleiadian Light Forces, and it's all part of the Galactic Federation, which it's like the Star Trek Federation, which is something a lot of us have been wanting to manifest our whole lives. I mean, Star Trek first aired before I was even born, and as a little girl growing up, boy, we gathered around the TV and we watched all of the Star Treks. I mean, every time Star Trek was on, it was like, oh my God, we can't wait. My grandma, my grandpa, my father, all of his brothers and sisters, I mean, we just were glued to the set. Sometimes Tommy would come over. He was my best friend. He was born on August 6th, and I was born on August 25th. So he's a little older than me by a couple weeks. And he was my very best friend, and he would sit with me, and we would just, oh my God, we could not wait to see Star Trek every single week. And it was only on for 1 hour a week, and it was just, I mean, for hours I would think about how much I want this, you know, this kind of a life where we get to be surrounded by ETs, and we get to learn and exchange from not only other cultures, but cultures from other planets. And my children grew up also wanting this. When I was married to their father, God rest his soul, he was very much into this idea as well. He was a big Trek fan. In fact, he had a bunch of memorabilia, he had autographs, he had all kinds of Star Trek things, because he just wanted so badly to materialize this in his world. I feel like with the newfound Pentagon announcements about UFOs, they've made 2 in less than 2 weeks, about how they're going to start investigating, and oh my goodness, we have parts of a spacecraft that crashed. I mean, is that the Roswell crash? Are they finally admitting to the Roswell? Or maybe there's a new one that they found. In any event, I kind of feel like that's going to manifest. I think we are going to enter into an age in which Earth could quite possibly be part of the Galactic Federation. Pretty exciting. It's also exciting that it did not originate on Earth, but rather outside of Earth. It's kind of weird, right? I always thought it would be, originating in San Francisco, the way that Star Trek did. So there's a lot of different things that we all want to manifest collectively. We want to have peace. We want to have love. We want to have unity. We want everyone to be in the fifth dimension and also spiritually awake. We want everyone to live a life of love, honor, respect, and equality. We want justice to prevail always. So there's a lot of different levels of manifestation. We're collectively manifesting the world we live in. Forces outside of our planet are helping to shape what's happening on the planet. We have on the outside of our planet, out on the upper atmosphere, we have the Arcturians and the Pleiadians and Lyrans, and I think maybe the Andromedans might be here, or they might just be rooting for us from the Andromeda galaxy, but they all are helping us to manifest what we all want. They all want for us this lifting up and unrenting the veil, like taking the veil off. They want us to be awake and aware and like, ooh, we're finally at least here to a level of understanding that humanity has never been at before. So I think that these manifestations that we wish to have and the manifesting ways that we've learned this week are going to really help us in a lot of different ways. So Prime Creator was talking about writing down what you want. And it could be simple, such as the words beach house. And then write down 3 sentences that will help you to visualize and imagine that you've already gotten it and you're already really grateful that you have it. And that's that energy of love and pulling your hands to your heart and just kind of giving yourself a hug and imagining it is here already and just thank God, and feeling peaceful that it's here. You know, I'm grateful that I could put my toes in the sand in front of my beach house. I'm glad that I have all these amazing and fabulous clothes I could wear to the beach when I go walking from my beach house. I am grateful that I get to walk hand in hand with my sweetheart at the beach in front of my beach house. And then we have a fabulous beach house to come home to. And then you just think about, yeah, that's what I want. Or whatever it is. Maybe yours is a log cabin in the woods and enjoying the snow. Maybe living in Lake Tahoe or in Minnesota is your thing. Maybe you have a completely different idea. Maybe you want to live in Europe in an ancient medieval village that you have fixed up. That's another dream of mine. That is something I've wanted to manifest for quite a while. I always thought that would be very, very interesting, just to be living on some land that has some really strange and ancient memories of the witchcraft that came before. I'd love to tap into that and see the patterns that exist in that part of reality. Like, well, what did they really do? What did they think about? And if it's negative, I'd like to release that from the land. And if it's positive, I want to learn from it. I know it's strange, but that's another thing I've thought about. So there's a lot of different ways that we can manifest things, and whatever method works for you the best. Remember Linkura Sha Tadaba? Do you remember that? That was a really powerful one. I want to say it's from the Lyrans, but I have it written down somewhere. Who said what, where, and when. But I think that one was from the Lyrans, but this was it. When you think about what it is that, the first time you say this, Linku Rasha Tadaba, you say that, and that connects you to your higher self. And then you think about the thing that you wish to bring about, and you say, Linkura Sha Tadaba. And then you think about that thing and you, including your higher self, connecting with that thing. The third time you say it is a bridge between you and the thing you want. Linkura sha tadaba. And then you imagine that is already with you. You could also hug your heart, touch your heart with that, and just be grateful that you've just connected yourself to your future in which you have the thing you wish to manifest. So there's a lot of different ways to do it. We've talked about it on the show for a great many months now, on and off. We've talked about manifestation. And I think that this week was a breakthrough week as far as the information that came through in last night's channeling and the channeling the night before. So I want you to let me know, write to me at mermaidgirl888. Just send me a direct message about how you are manifesting and how these methods that I have channeled and brought forth to you, how have they helped you? Have they helped yet? Do they at least help build your belief? I think a lot of the things that we wish to have and we don't yet, I think a lot of it has to do with we don't believe we're worthy enough or good enough. Maybe we don't have the self-esteem or the confidence enough to go towards our dreams, and possibly we have other things holding us back. I mean, there are as many reasons in this world to not manifest something that we really want as there are people. So I've really been looking into, at least for me, I've been trying to see, I know what I want and I know where I'm going for, and then I try to see inside my psyche, inside my mind and my subconscious thinkings, what's holding me back from having that thing I don't have right now. Now, with my manifesting of my twin flame relationship, that is one of those things where, it takes two to tango, so maybe I'm ready and he's not ready. Or maybe he's ready and I'm not ready, right? So however that works, if you are looking for a relationship and don't have one yet, it might be that you need to work on yourself, build your belief, build your self-esteem, confidence, but also look into why you don't have it yet. Just really think about, I don't have this thing yet because, and then fill in the blank, see what comes up. It might not be what you think. Might be a really weird reason, and then you have to clear it. For me, it has nothing to do with relationships. You know, I was talking to a friend of mine this week, Kyle, and he's saying maybe you haven't manifested it because you're afraid that you're going to have a lot of fights or that you might not like a habit he has. And I'm like, no, I'm good with all that. And then he started telling me his things is, well, what if I fall in love with a woman and she smokes? I hate smokers. That's a deal breaker for me. I'm like, well, I hope my guy doesn't smoke, but if he does, I'm actually okay with it. I've dated smokers and it didn't really bother me. I mean, the guys I was with that smoked, they were actually respectful and they brushed their teeth and, they didn't smoke around me knowing I have asthma. So I was okay with that actually. And he was saying, what if you're, afraid that you're going to have a fight or that you'll fight all the time or that you're going to lose your freedom? Or I'm like, honestly, for me, none of that is an issue. None of it, because I'm really good in relationships. I know that I get along with mostly everybody, and I have had fights in my relationships, but very few and far between. And that's not an issue for me. And he kept asking me, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. I'm like, none of the relationship-y stuff scares me. And I started really thinking about it. I'm like, well, I actually had, for a while, a fear because I think my guy is famous. I keep seeing glimpses of who he is and that he's famous. And I'm an introvert. I'm like, And I think that I've been skirting the issue of being famous and being a little bit nerve-wracked over that idea. And this past few weeks, I've been like, okay, if he's famous and if I'm going to be with him, I'm going to be famous too. And then I'm thinking, it's so dumb. Why would I want to not be famous when I've been putting myself out there for almost 2 years in my show? Oh my God. I'm shooting myself in the foot in two ways in one. Oh my God. Of course I want to be famous. Why wouldn't I? Well, okay, lack of privacy and paparazzi and being an introvert, being put on the spot, blah, blah, blah. And yet what's really funny is I have had glimpses of my future where I'm being interviewed on TV a lot. I mean, when I was little, I knew this was going to happen in my life, and I've been avoiding this my whole life. And I started thinking about all the times in which this is very weird, but I've been recognized. People have asked me for my autograph when I was just like a teenager, and I'm like, what? When I was in Peru, I was mobbed by a crowd of people who insisted I sign things, pieces of paper, their notebook. One little boy was crying and he fell to his knees, begging me, screaming at me, demanding I sign his t-shirt. I'm like, but your mother's going to be really mad at me if I sign your school uniform. And he's like, I don't care. I will deal with my mother. And he was screaming, and he made my children and I sign his shirt. He's like, I know you're famous. I know you're famous. So I signed my name on his on his little white school shirt. Oh my God, so stupid. I mean, I know she's going to be so angry, right? You're going to put me in a position to make your mom mad at you, and now you're in trouble. He's like, I don't care. And he started crying, and he was crazy. He went crazy with this star-struckedness, which was insane because I'm at that point 3 years ago, I didn't even have a radio show. What is happening? And I've been talking to God about it. This is like the weirdest issue in my because my God has been putting me in the path of, you are going to be famous. We're going to ease you into this over the course of decades. When I was 8 years old, a woman told me, she was my cousin's girlfriend at the time. She said, I'm a witch. Have you ever read The Hobbit? Well, I'm a witch like the elven people in The Hobbit. And I'm like, what? She said, I can manifest anything for you. I will make you famous. What do you want? And I said, I want to be rich and famous. I was like 8 years old. 8. It just came out of my mouth. All right, rich and famous. Why not? I want to be a movie star. She says, okay, I'm going to make you famous. You're going to be a movie star. Here you go. And we were in the swimming pool at my cousin's house, and she was floating in this little, like, I don't know, like a donut, like, you know, those inflatable things. They're circular and they're wild colors. And she's floating in one of these, and she says, I'm going to make you famous. And she just waved her hands around me in a flourish. And she's like splashing water everywhere she did it. It was hilarious. I mean, I was like, cool, thanks. I remember thinking, she doesn't know what the hell she's doing. And now I look back and think she was probably high as hell. You know, and I'm like, well, it hasn't happened yet. You know, where is she? What was her name again? I need to find her and get my money back. Oh, wait, I didn't pay her anything. I was only 8 years old. But it's been one of those weird things my whole life. Like when I was very, very little, I was about that time, actually, I was on the radio. Actually, right after she did this little flourishy thing, I ended up being on the radio with other kids, and we were singing a song for a long forgotten and lost business that doesn't even exist anymore called Tot Toggery. And I sang my heart out, and I'm a terrible singer, so I don't know how the hell they didn't kick me off the sing team, but I sang and I was on the radio, and I heard my own commercial a lot when I was a kid. I was like, oh my God. My mom, like, one day called me. She said, I was driving home from work and I heard you singing on the radio. Wow. And I was also, when I was about 9 or 10, I was on the Easter Seal telethon. I was in a little grass skirt, you know, and I was just with a group of girls, and we were dancing the hula to help raise money for the Easter Seals for children that had disabilities. And I've been around famous people my whole life, and God has eased me into this idea for a long, long time. I have like sat in my home in the mountains in California for years when my kids were little, and 3 or 4 times random people called me that were extremely famous. It just randomly, like, you know, people in real estate, people in business. A friend of mine, well, she's not my friend. She was my business coach. And it turns out she had been interviewed on Larry King. My friend Henry has been on Larry King. And a lot of different people I know. Just very, very famous. So it's one of those things that I've always kind of been on the outskirts or on the edge of it. And now it's like, I know it's got to be go time soon. I just know it. And so I'm preparing, I'm getting ready. And I also know that I've got to put myself out there more. So I'm doing it. I'm finally like, there's my issue. And so there, I mean, that was like one of the most weird and unique things I've ever, that I came up with, you know, for me as to why I don't have that thing yet, right? I don't have that, well, it's not thing, but, you know, my person, I don't have him in my life yet, you know, and why don't I have the money even coming in for this show even? I should have a lot more by now, I thought, okay, but the other thing was the fame thing. I had to clear that. I have to be okay with it now, and I am now. So strange, right? It's such a strange and silly thing, but it was one of those weird things I had to clear, you know. And if you are having a problem taking a job because of how much money it pays, because maybe it's going to pay you a lot more, you have to find out what is inside your psyche. What I learned from T. Harv Eker when I met him in person, actually, I went to his 3-day seminar, and he was saying that a lot of people have so much love and respect for their parents that they're terrified of making more money than their parents because they feel like that will be a point of disrespect for their parents. He says such an odd thing, but a lot of people are terrified of making more of themselves than their parents did because they don't want to embarrass their parents for not having more and not being more. And that's how a lot of people sabotage themselves. I thought that was very strange and insightful, something I had never thought about. And there's a lot. I mean, he said there's as many reasons to not be wealthy as there are people, because we all have our internal stuff. And Christy Marie Sheldon has an amazing program on manifesting money in your life, because we got to face it, like money is like the biggest thing that we need to get along in this world. And it doesn't make any sense, but when you think about it, really, like, we're all busting our humps, as they say, for the almighty dollar. You know, whatever, even, you know, no matter what currency, you know, francs or pesos or, you know, soles or whatever, you know, is your money where you are listening to this, you know, yens or zens, I don't know. Is zen a thing? I don't know if that's the kind of money. You know, Zimbabwean dollars, I don't know. But no matter where you are on the planet, we all need some form of currency. And it's been pointed out to me, think about what the word currency is. People say it's a currency exchange. And what is a current? It is an electrical charge. Wait, what? But I thought currency was pieces of paper that were green and white and sometimes pink and God knows what, depending on where you are. And sometimes it's pieces of metal with faces of dead people on. That in and of itself is weird. And think about it. What is currency? Current. A current is an electrical charge. Currency is the exchange of electrons along a line. Like in electricity. The way that the electricity runs to your house so you could power the lights. It's currency, and it's an exchange of electrons. Money is no different than that. It's a current. It's an electrical charge. It is an energy. So when you think about the ways in which we were given this week on manifesting, think about that you're breathing out the energy of love and light. You're breathing in the energy of love and light. You're breathing out the energy of love and light. You're bringing in the energy of love and light. You're breathing out the currency of love and light. You're bringing in the currency of love and light. You're breathing out the things that you wish to manifest. You're bringing in the things you wish to manifest. It's energy exchange out. It's energy exchange in. You're writing it down in your book. I want new shoes. So you write new shoes. I'm excited and happy now that I have my kick-ass kicks, my sexy new combat boots, my awesome high heels, Manila Blahniks, my tennis shoes, whatever kind of shoes you want. Where do you want them to take you? Whatever, I thank you for the money, thank you for the house. And when you want something, don't think about the money, because that's just the currency. That's the electrical exchange, which you're doing with your mind anyway. You're either pushing it away or pulling it to you, depending on what's in your subconscious mind, what's in your actual mind, your conscious mind. But you got to clear the subconscious first, right? So whether it's love, whether it's money, whether it's fame, whether it's fortune, whether it's a beach house or a kick-ass pair of kicks, no matter what it is, there's a lot of different reasons to have it and a lot of different reasons why you're holding yourself back. And I've had a lot of conversations this week with my friend about this kind of thing, and I asked him about the money. Like, why is money... I've been working on myself, and I want to know if there's any blocks. Because he could see things I can't see. And he saw a massive wall that looked like thick tar hanging around me like a curtain in the sky. And he's like, this is the weirdest thing. It's like I had to clean it up. And it was what somebody had sent me, her energy was... It doesn't mean that I can't manifest. It's just that she was holding me back for over 20 years from really reaching my financial potential. It's like, holy crap. So he sent money angels to clean it all up, and it's undeliverable. Return to sender. We don't need that. And I asked him, I'm like, can you please look into this and see if there's anything, do you have romance angels over there that can help me? Just see if there's anything I'm not seeing. Maybe there's a wall. Maybe there's a wall around me. Maybe there's some kind of a barrier between me and my love that she has put up to make it hard. All the guys in a row that I was super attracted to that were all gay. That happened for a while. And then when I finally found a guy who was straight and amazing, turned out he was straight, but I thought he was gay, so I never went for it. I found out a year later that he was straight and had a big crush on me. I could have been married to the guy right now. He's an amazing person. Yeah, but he found the love of his life, and they're getting married. So, all right, damn. You know, it was those kind of things over and over and over again. I mean, before I knew I had a twin flame, before I really, well, I knew I did, but I kind of felt like it's probably BS. It's not true. Now I know it's true. Now I have conversations with him quite often, telepathically. Never have met him in person. I mean, not even an email, not even an Instagram direct message. But but it's coming. I know it is. So I'm going to see what he says. Maybe, you know, he's like, we're going to package that up and return to sender again if this is something. And I've already bound this person who is doing all this evil towards my children and I. And it's like I already bound her powers. Her own mother, who's dead, came to me and said, we're going to bind her powers. You know what I mean? And it's like, I hate doing that to somebody. I've never done that to anyone before. I'm like, all right, you know what? We're going to go. It's go time. Grabbed up all the ancestors, did a massive ceremony to bind her powers so she can never affect me negatively again. You know, just sorry. And it wasn't only me. I think she's doing negative things to a lot of different people. She's a miserable human and wants to do that. So, but barring something like that, if you're holding yourself back, you're going to figure it out. You'll figure it out for sure. But just keep asking, what is this? What is this? But then let that go and do the manifestations we did this week. Breathing it out, breathing it in, until it is you're one with God. You're one with your higher self. And I think that's what's going to bring it for all of us, no matter what it is. You know, the thing that you wish, the person or the relationship or the kick-ass pair of kicks. We have something very special tonight. I have a secret for you guys. We're going to get to it in a minute. I'm excited about it. So, okay, spaceweather.com. We're going to go there first before we get to the other thing, the surprise. The solar wind speed right now is 344.1 kilometers per second. And let's see here. We have, it says sunspot number 0, although we still have 2772 is crackling with B-class solar flares. So it's possible we're going to get some solar flares this weekend. We'll see. But it is over on the upper right hand part of the sun. So probably by tomorrow or Sunday, we will have no sunspots again. Oulu neutron counts coming out of Oulu, Finland, in the university over there. They're saying that we have gone down in the past 48 hours by 0.1%. And the space age, we are at 9.6% of the space age average as far as cosmic radiation coming into the planet is concerned. So we're at a high level, which is good. A few weeks ago, we were at the very high level. Aurora borealis are only visible in the northern half of Canada right now. The noctilucent clouds have also been retreating because it is kind of the end of the noctilucent cloud season. And we are going to be bombarded with solar wind from the north corona hole of the sun. And it'll be here on the 24th of August, which I like to call Elena's birthday eve. It's my birthday eve, because my birthday, of course, being August 25th. I'm so excited about that. And by the way, I heard from a new listener. His name is Philip. He told me he is a Virgo. And, well, you and I both know, we all know that, well, all the Virgo birthdays are going to start, I think, is it tomorrow or the next day? So basically, by Monday, we're going to start the slew of Virgo birthdays. So I wanted to say out loud, happy birthday to you, Philip. I don't know what day your birthday is, but mine is on the 25th. So, oh my God. Yes, and I'm very, very Virgo. If you look at my chart, any of you who are astrologers, if you're interested in looking at my chart, write me and I'll tell you exactly when and where I was born. Oh my God. My chart is really unbelievable. My friend who was an astrologer for like her whole life, for like 30, 40 years, her first reaction to my chart was, Jesus, God, girl, you're lucky to be alive. It's like pretty bad when you have almost every single planet in the house of death. But, what would you expect from Azrael, yours truly, Archangel of Death? That's me, incarnate as a human. So, of course, my chart's going to have all kinds of death in it to prove that, right? It's kind of crazy. But also it's the house of sex. So, hey, house of sex and death. Two things I've been obsessed with my whole life. I'm more obsessed with the whole spirituality thing, but I like the spiritual, angles of these things. Okay, we're going to stop talking about angles right now. So, the Fireball Network, here we go. All Sky Fireball Network coming out of the NASA All Sky cameras that scan the skies in 14 states in the United States. They have discovered 47 fireballs today. 45 were sporadic. One was a northern Iota Aquarid. One was a southern Delta Aquarid. So, pretty exciting stuff, man. I love hearing about the fireballs. It's kind of weird, but... All right, Schumann Resonance today from disclosurenews.it is 7 again. Remember how they were there at 7, then they went up to like 18 or 20, and then went back down to 7. It's very, very odd. Now, I've been trying to get the website to work as far as the heartmath.org, and suddenly the only data that's available is from Monday, 5 days ago. I'm like, what? So we're going to skip that one right now, and we're going to go to the surprise now. So I'm going to see how much time we have left to make sure we could do this. Okay, yeah, we do. Yay, plenty of time. So exciting. All right, guys. We are literally on our final lesson in A Course in Miracles. What? Did you all think we had until next Thursday? We're done. Today is it. I'm just as shocked as you are right now. If you've been following A Course in Miracles lessons with me for the past 361 episodes, I can't even believe it's been this long. But we're here, and this is it. So I'm going to read the last, the introduction to the final lessons, and then I'm going to read you the final lesson, which is supposed to be the lesson you follow for 5 whole days. That's it. Only one. So I'm only going to read it once. You can come back and listen to it again and again, as often as you like, if you wish. But that's it. This is it. So here we go. It says, Final Lessons, Introduction. Our final lessons will be left as free of words as possible. We use them but at the beginning of our practicing, and only to remind us that we seek to go beyond them. Let us turn to Him who leads the way and makes our footsteps sure. To Him we leave these lessons, as to Him we give our lives henceforth. For we would not return again to the belief in sin that made the world seem ugly and unsafe, attacking and destroying, dangerous in all its ways, and treacherous beyond the hope of trust and the escape from pain. His is the only way to find the peace that God has given us. It is His way that everyone must travel in the end, because it is this ending God Himself appointed. In the dream of time, it seems to be far off, and yet in truth it is already here. already serving us as gracious guidance in the way to go. Let us together follow in the way that truth points out to us, and let us be the leaders of our many brothers who are seeking for the way but find it not. And to this purpose, let us dedicate our minds, directing all our thoughts to serve the functions of salvation. Unto us the aim is given to forgive the world. It is the goal that God has given us. It is His ending to the dream we seek, and not our own. For all that we forgive, we will not fail to recognize as part of God Himself, and thus His memory is given back completely and complete. It is our function to remember Him on earth, as it is given us to be His own completion in reality. So, let us not forget our goal is shared, for it is that remembrance which contains the memory of God and points the way to Him and to the heaven of His peace. And shall we not forgive our brother who can offer this to us? He is the way, the truth, and life that shows the way to us. In Him resides salvation offered us through our forgiveness given unto Him. We will not end this year without the gift our Father promised to His Holy Son. We are forgiven now, and we are saved from all the wrath we thought belonged to God and found it was a dream. We are restored to sanity, in which we understand that anger is insane, attack is mad, and vengeance merely foolish fantasy. We have been saved from wrath because we learned we were mistaken. Nothing more than that. And is a father angry at his son because he failed to understand the truth? We come in honesty to God and say we did not understand, and ask Him to help us to learn His lessons through the voice of His own teacher. Would He hurt His son? Or would He rush to answer him and say, "This is my son, and all I have is his"? Be certain He will answer thus, for these are His own words to you. And more than that can no one ever have, for in these words is all there is, and all that there will be throughout all time and in eternity. So that is the final lesson's introduction. And now we're going to go to the final lesson. And here it is. This is the end. Lessons 361 to lessons 365. It's only one lesson. It's very short. This holy instant would I give to you. Be you in charge. For I would follow you, certain that your direction gives me peace. This holy instant would I give to you. Be you in charge. For I would follow you, certain that your direction gives me peace. And if I need a word to help me, He will give it to me. If I need a thought, that will He also give. And if I need but stillness and a tranquil, open mind, these are the gifts I will receive of Him. He is in charge by my request, and He will hear and answer me, because He speaks for God, my Father, and His Holy Son. This holy instant would I give to you. Be you in charge, for I would follow you, certain that your direction gives me peace. So then at the end, there's a little bit more, and then we're going to be done with the introduction, and we'll take a quick break. But there's an epilogue, and this is what it says. This course is a beginning, not an end. Your friend goes with you. You are not alone. No one who calls on him can call in vain. Whatever troubles you, be certain that He has the answer and will gladly give it to you. if you simply turn to him and ask it of him. He will not withhold all answers that you need for anything that seems to trouble you. He knows the way to solve all problems and resolve all doubts. His certainty is yours. You need but ask it of him, and it will be given to you. You are as certain of arriving home as is the pathway of the sun laid down before it rises, after it has set, and in the half-lit hours in between. Indeed, your pathway is more certain still, for it cannot be possible to change the course of those whom God has called to him. Therefore, obey your will and follow him whom you accepted as your voice to speak of what you really want and really need. His is the voice for God and also yours, and thus he speaks of freedom and of truth. No more specific lessons are assigned, for there is no more need of them. Henceforth hear the voice for God and for yourself when you retire from the world to seek reality instead. He will direct your efforts, telling you exactly what to do, how to direct your mind, and when to come to him in silence, asking for his sure direction and his certain word. His is the word that God has given you. His is the word you chose to be on your own. His is the word you chose to be your own. And now I place you in his hands to be his faithful follower, with him as guide through every difficulty and all pain that you may think is real. Nor will he give you pleasures that will pass away, for he gives only the eternal and the good. Let him prepare you further. He has earned your trust by speaking daily to you of your father and your brother and yourself. He will continue. Now you walk with him as certain as he is of where you go, as sure as he of how you should proceed, as confident as he is of the goal and of your safe arrival in the end. The end is certain, and the means as well. To this we say amen. You will be told exactly what God wills for you each time there is a choice to make. And he will speak for God and for yourself, thus making sure that hell will claim you not, and that each choice you make brings heaven nearer to your reach. And so we walk with him from this time on and turn to him for guidance and for peace and sure direction. Joy attends our way, for we go homeward to an open door which God has held unclosed to welcome us. We trust our ways to him and say amen. In peace, we will continue in his way, trust all things to him. In confidence, we wait his answers as we ask his will in everything we do. He loves God's Son as we would love him, and he teaches us how to behold him through his eyes and love him as he does. You do not walk alone. God's angels hover near and all about. His love surrounds you, and of this be sure, that I will never leave you comfortless. That's it. That, my friends, is the end of A Course in Miracles. So there it is. That is one book out of the 3 books. You have the lessons, and that's what I've just read to you over the past 361 days. Well, episodes of the show. And then there is that's the lesson workbook, and then there's the book that accompanies that we have not read. But that's on you. It's up to you to read that. And then when you're done with that, there's always the teacher's manual. So there you go. That's your surprise. Woo! I, for one, feel accomplished. And starting Monday, I think I'm going to, instead of obviously doing this, which we've been doing for a very long time, we're going to just go to the card of the day. I'm going to do a reading, just one tarot card or one oracle card every single day. I have several decks now, so it's pretty exciting. I could ask God, which one should I use, and use the pendulum and figure it out. And we're going to do one card for the day every day. Just see what it means to you. See what it means for you. It's going to be the card for the collective whole every day. So there you go. I'm going to take a quick break, guys. And when I come back, we're going to get into the Earth Changes Report. I secretly call it the prayer report, because who are we going to pray for? And then we are going to maybe, hopefully, have some weird and strange and odd news stories coming up right after these short messages. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's high time you did. It is the absolute easiest way to make a podcast. First of all, it's absolutely free. Second of all, they have creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. You guys have known that I've been doing this for 8 months using the Anchor.fm app right on my cell phone, and I have done it everywhere, right? I have recorded this in my living room, my bedroom, little cafes in Quito, Ecuador, all over Cuenca. It's so absolutely easy to make your podcast, and editing is just a snap. Anchor also will distribute your podcast for you, and it took me about 2.5 months to become syndicated, and now I'm available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more, and so can you. You can make money from your podcast also, and there's no minimum requirement. You get paid from your very first listener. It is everything that you need to make a podcast all in one place. So please, if you are interested in making a podcast of your very own, do not hesitate to start with Anchor. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. Metaphysical Soul Speak is run on sponsors and listener support. This means listeners like you. If you are so inclined to support my efforts and my little podcast, please visit me at anchor.fm/metaphysical and pledge an amount of your choosing today. Thank you.
We can make a difference in our own small way.
Just one small change, we can do that today. Our mind's getting bigger while the world's getting smaller.
But saving the earth's becoming a tall order. From the minute you awake from your nightly nap, you can make little changes like turning off the tap
While brushing your teeth in the bathroom.
You can cycle or walk your way to the classroom.
Cut down the fuel you used to get to school.
Pull in, let's carpool.
In your lunchbox, cut down the plastic. See, these things aren't too drastic.
Spread the word, get vocal.
Make it go global. When buying food, stay local.
Never mind the dishwasher, do it by hand.
But I hate washing up. Ah, come on, it's grand.
Just one small change in the little things we do. We'll show you how, and now it's up to you. It's our future.
It's our earth.
We need to protect it for what it's worth. It's our future.
It's our earth.
We need to protect it for what it's worth. Since we found out the earth was sick,
We knew we had to do something quick. The earth is our family and our friend.
We need to mend it before it ends.
This is our home, so don't destroy it. Everyone should do their bit. Ice caps melting, seas getting high. Homes will be flooded, polar bears will die. The sun's getting hotter, the rain won't fall. I'm afraid we won't survive at all. Recycle the plastic, please, it's free.
You don't want that ending up in the sea. It's like people use this planet as a bin. Pick up your trash, that's where you begin.
Temperature is rising, we are realizing. We must act now, there's no compromise.
Just one small change in the little things we do. We'll show you how, and now it's up to you. It's our future.
It's our Earth.
We need to protect it for what it's worth. It's our future.
It's our Earth.
We need to protect it for what it's worth. If you cut down flowers and trees, you contribute to the mass extinction of the bees. Think of the creatures that don't have a say. There has to be a better way. There's no higher being to save the earth. We've got to do something before we get hurt.
At school, we know what to do.
But my question is, do you? Just one small change in the little things we do. We'll show you how, and now it's up to you. It's our future.
It's our Earth.
We need to protect it for what it's worth. It's our future.
It's our Earth.
We need to protect it for what it's worth. Just one small change in the little things we do. We'll show you how, and now it's up to you. It's our future.
It's our Earth.
We need to protect it for what it's worth. It's our future.
It's our Earth.
We need to protect it for what it's worth.
Alright guys, we're gonna jump on into the news right now. Okay. I read the news every week from watchers.news. That's WATCHERS.NEWS. So this is where we're at this week, starting on August 18th, because she did not report for 2 or 3 days. So anyway, this is where we left off last week. Major flooding leaves 65 people dead, more than 220,000 people affected, and 40,000 homes were hit in Sudan. I don't know how you pronounce that, but I say Sudan, but in Spanish it's Sudan. I don't know. Anyway, I guess, because it's flooding, I'm assuming this is from rain. So let's send some sunshine over to Sudan, and also love and comfort energy towards the 65 people's families who were left after their relatives passed on. All right, the next article is asteroid 2020 QG flew past Earth at just 0.02 lunar distances on August 16th. Oh my God, so that's really freaking close. In fact, this is the closest near-Earth object flyby on record. Whew. Well, it's nice to hear about it after the fact, right? As opposed to, it'll be here tomorrow. That's really scary. At least it wasn't so close that Earth's gravity didn't haul it in. That could have been disastrous. A bright fireball has exploded over the city of Linyi, China's Shandong province. So, this has been happening all over the place. I mean, in the U.S., we always give that report in the first half of the show. NASA's All-Sky Fireball Network. I don't know if China has a fireball network, but pretty crazy stuff. This has been happening a lot more now that our solar system is in this section of the galaxy. It's going to be happening for quite some time. We're basically on a rocky road, literally. Rocky Road. Oh, my favorite ice cream ever. I do miss that. Anyway, but I digress. 2 very strong earthquakes, 6.8 and a magnitude 6.9, have hit off the coast of southern Sumatra in Indonesia. So I don't think there's any prayers needed there because it was off the coast. I didn't hear of any tsunamis, thank you God. So let's move on. Storm Ellen named, and the forecast to hit Ireland, or it was forecasted to hit Ireland and the UK with very disruptive winds and heavy rain. So that was reported on the 19th of August. It's quite possible that already happened. Again, on the 19th, there's another article, and it says, our sun started its life with a binary companion, according to a new study. What? That's really crazy. So, like all of us, our sun has a twin flame? A new theory published this week in the AAS, the Astrophysical Journal Letters, suggests that our sun may once have had a binary companion of similar mass. If confirmed, the presence of an early stellar companion increases the likelihood that the Oort cloud was formed as observed, and that planet 9 was captured rather than formed within the solar system. Harvard University scientists who published the theory have postulated that the existence of a long-lost stellar binary companion in the sun's birth cluster, the collection of stars that formed together with the sun from the same dense cloud of molecular gas, could explain the formation of the Oort cloud as we observe it today. Previous models have had difficulty producing the expected ratio between scattered disk objects and outer Oort cloud objects. It shouldn't come as a surprise to scientists, said study co-author Amir Siraj. The binary capture model offers significant improvement and refinement, which is seemingly obvious in retrospect. Most sun-like stars are born with binary companions. I did not know that. Did you? You can go ahead and read the rest of this yourself if you wish. It's watchers.news, but what a strange hypothesis. I've never heard of this. Obviously, it's new. Crazy. I did not know. Or didn't even occur to me that our sun has a binary sun, although there is talk of the blue star Kachina in the Hopi prophecy, that when we have the blue star Kachina come back, or the blue sun, and the day that we suddenly have 2 stars in the sky, that basically that's the end times. A lot of people prophesized it's when the Mir space station came to the planet and appeared bright blue, like a blue star Kachina. There was other talk of similar things, that it's like space debris. So I don't know. That's really strange stuff though, right? All right. This is an article on page 2 right now. So this is Friday. I'm reading this. So between Friday and say probably Monday or Tuesday, this might remain on page 2. Later in the week, next week, if you're hearing it too late, probably this will be on page 3. So there you go. we're going to go back now to the first page of Watchers News, because we always go the oldest news story first and work our way, I guess, technically forward until today. So, there was a deep magnitude 6.9 earthquake. So that's funny. For a while, it was all just 6.4. And now we have 6.8, 6.9. And here's the second 6.9 earthquake that has hit the Banda Sea in Indonesia. This is a 6.9. So it's hit in the sea. I think that these earthquakes have had to do with the massive amounts of solar activity lately. And because the solar cycle right now, we're at a solar minimum, and the magnetic field of the sun has been weak, and it's been not really shielding us as it usually does from cosmic radiation. And I think a lot of this interference has caused earthquakes on the planet, as well as volcanoes. And a lot of the scientists are just now coming to this conclusion. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. Okay, suspicious observers. This man is a scientist, and this is the channel on YouTube is called Suspicious Observers, and you could check him out. He's very scientific. He's obviously has a PhD in is it astrophysics? Maybe. Anyway, this was his theory, and it looks like he's on to something. So very interesting. You can hear it all about it on his channel. But anyway, asteroid 2020 QY2 has flown past Earth at 0.17 lunar distance. Wow. So it's not as close as the other one. The other one was very close. But still, I mean, it is worth mentioning. So, as we predicted from a few stories ago, Storm Ellen brought record winds and heavy rain to parts of Ireland and the UK. And in Pakistan, a month's worth of rain fell in Punjab in one day, and it left 18 people injured and 24 dead. So let's send love and sunshine to Pakistan, and also comfort to the families who lost loved ones. 10 simultaneous water spouts were seen off the coast of Louisiana in the United States. Okay, that does not seem normal, does it? That is odd as hell. Water spouts, you guys. Water spouts. This is so strange. I'm going to go to that article because I don't know. That's really strange. We don't have a lot of news stories this week, and that's either good news or maybe the person who has this website isn't quite keeping up. I don't know about you guys. I've been really tired all week. Mentally foggy, completely unable for 3 days to do my schoolwork. It's been crazy. Like, I had this seemingly easy homework assignment, and for 3 days I've been just staring at the assignment going, what? I don't get it. And it's weird because it should have been an easy assignment to complete, and yet I'm looking at the words going, and at the same time feeling very, very tired and very sleepy. In fact, tonight I slept for 2 or 3 hours before I even was able to start the show tonight. Because I had slept 9 hours, and I got up for a couple hours, and then all of a sudden I was exhausted all over again. So it's been energetically strange for this whole week, and rough. And I know a lot of you have kind of gone through similar things, being very, very tired. In fact, I was on Instagram earlier today, and this person drew a card. I don't know what deck it's from, and it literally said time to take a nap. And she said, this is pretty much how I felt all week. And then all these other people were saying the same thing, like, I really feel like all week tired, and people are saying, oh, I'm getting ready to take a nap right now. It's funny timing. And I had just woken up from my nap. I'm like, yeah, this is very strange. Anyway, so here we go. 10 simultaneous waterspouts seen off the coast of Louisiana. Or if you're in Louisiana. Okay. I don't know if I said that right. So anyway, it says that Lake Michigan currently holds the visual record of 9 waterspouts occurring at once in a single photo. But in Louisiana, they had 10 waterspouts at the same time were reported. I mean, I'm looking at this picture. This is incredible. This is on watchers.news. I mean, have you guys ever seen a waterspout in your life? This is really strange. It's like a whole different planet. I'm counting them. It's like I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 10. Literally saw. I see 10 for sure. Very crazy. This is really. It's surreal. I mean, it looks like something from a movie. Wow. And here's another war, or they say War of Worlds waterspout invasion. That's what someone says it looks like. It's very odd. Like, what the hell, waterspouts? There's a bunch of pictures of waterspouts. What is a waterspout? It just has a bunch of pictures of it. Wow. It doesn't really explain what it is. And remember, in the beginning of August, it says in a rare event, a waterspout was spotted becoming a tornado as it moved over land in Palermo, Italy on the 5th of August. So, I mean, like literally 16 days ago, the phenomenon occurred in Cefalu. Panic ensued, of course, when the waterspout came ashore. That is creepy. It's creepy as hell. I mean, have you guys ever heard of this before in your life? Oh, well, look, there were 10 waterspouts off the coast of... I mean, does that even seem normal? It does not seem normal to me. An explosive fire activity in California has killed at least 5 people, and more than 690,000 acres have been scorched, and 770 structures have been destroyed. And so that really sucks. I'm going to go and see what part. I think that's in Southern California, although my friend was telling me he lives in an area where basically the campfire was responsible for taking his home. He had built it with his hands from scratch and took the whole thing. Now he's living in a trailer on his land. And it's really sad because he had lived in a trailer on his land for like years while he's building this house. And then the house burned down and he's back to living on a trailer. And I think he told me this was like 2 houses he had built have been destroyed by fire already. So he's looking to move to Ecuador, actually. He's like, I want to move down there with you. He's like, it's fun to talk to you. You're very spiritual. And I'm sure I'll make a lot of friends and down there. But I just want to get the hell away from the U.S. I'm like, yeah, I don't really blame you, Kyle. I mean, I mean, especially, I mean, we're coming up on 2 years since my kid's hometown was destroyed by fire. And it's just, fires in California are very, like, for years, they've been really bad, absolutely deadly beyond what they used to be. It's crazy. So, they're calling it the LNU Lightning Complex. It's a major cluster of fires in wine country, in northern Bay Area. And this is, of course, a premier wine growing region. So 219,000 acres of land were in wine country were devastated. 480 structures. And the evacuation was triggered of non-essential personnel from Travis Air Force Base in Solano County and patients from the Adventist Health St. Helena Hospital in Napa County. Wow, it had to be evacuated. So wow, only 7% contained just yesterday. So 4 civilian deaths, according to the LA Times, were tied to this fire, and a pilot was killed when his firefighting helicopter crashed in Fresno County on Wednesday, which in turn sparked another brush fire. Which joined the dozens of other fires burning across the state. So 66,000 people were in evacuation just this morning. Let's see. Anyway, it goes on to talk about all the different ones. This is just Northern California. And so that's just nuts. This Cal Fire said there's a concern that some people are trying to organize through social media to create volunteer brigades to fight the fires themselves. But the dangers out there to their own lives are outweighing anything they can actually accomplish, and they'll be putting their lives in jeopardy. So please don't try to fight the fire yourself. I mean, when I was in California and they had a fire when my kids were little, like, I don't know, I think it was like 11 or 12 years ago, we had to be evacuated. In fact, for quite a while, a couple weeks, we were actually trapped when there were fires in Paradise, and the fires were out of control, burning for days. And we were about a week actually trapped and without a way to come to leave the area, because we only had one road out, and it was really, really scary. And then as soon as they had put that fire out, another fire just north of us started, and they just were like, it's time to evacuate. You need to grab as much as you can and just go. Just get out of here, because it's scary. And so we went down to the Red Cross shelter in Chico, and that became our home for a couple weeks. And we just sat there for 2 weeks not knowing whether our house had burned or not. I mean, it's just, we grabbed our kids, basically, and that was it. You know, it's just, what else can you do? You know, it was just so, I don't even know. I think I didn't even grab our photo albums. I just, you know, things that you always think you're going to take in a fire. I don't think I had even taken those things. I just, my husband's like, no, let's just go. Let's get whatever we can, like clothing, you know, for the kids and for us, and that's it. You know, I think I grabbed like maybe my laptop or something and my phone, and that was it. Kids, laptop, phone, let's go. That's it. And luckily our house was still there. In fact, even though our town burned down, our house was north of there. It's not even our house anymore, but it's still okay. It's like crazy. But yeah, this is crazy. It's really scary in California. The fires are just, every year they get out of control, but the last few years they've gotten really, really bad. way worse. And so many people become homeless. Even wealthy people, like in wine country, anyone who lives there, they have a lot of money, and it doesn't matter. It's like the fires don't care. So even people that are homeless that would normally turn their noses down at people who are homeless, they themselves become homeless. It's crazy. Not that all people that are rich do that, because they don't, but I've been in Northern California a lot. I lived there, over in the Bay even, and I remember when we were moving, we had all of our stuff in the car, and we pulled over to the side of the road because my friend was calling me, and it's illegal to drive and be on the phone in California. So I pulled to the side of the road, and this lady came up to my car and started knocking rudely on my window while I was taking a few moments to be on the call with my friend. And I kept holding my finger up, like, hello, I'm in my own car, my own private property, on a city street, on the phone, obviously busy, and I was there with my kids. And I told my friend, I'm gonna have to go because this woman is very rudely interrupting our call, and I was just trying to get some information from him. So I had to hang up, and she was like, what's going on here? And she's staring at all my stuff in my car. I'm like, excuse me? And well, basically, cut to the chase, she actually gave me $20 to leave. And you know what? I took her money. Whatever. You're gonna be that rude to me? Yeah. Maybe give me $100 to leave next time. I was just like, hey guys, you want to go get some ice cream with this lady's money? It's like crazy. She literally paid me to leave because she thought I was homeless and going to be starting to live in front of her house, which was like ridiculous. And I was just like, what the hell? Like, I go, remember how it's like illegal to drive and talk on the phone? She's like, yeah. And then she's like, well, what's all this stuff in your car? I'm like, yeah, I'm in the middle of moving. It's like, what the hell? But I remember there were a lot of people that looked at us crazy, like we're the crazy ones. And it's like, yeah, so our stuff's in the car, we're looking for a place to live, we just moved, I just saw a lot of people acting like that, like just very snooty, like they're better than us because their stuff was in their home and we were in the middle of moving. And so anyway, that was like the impression I got of that area. It was just like, it was very rare to find somebody who would treat us well over there. But anyway, but it's like when it comes to the fires, it's like sometimes people are, displaced, and it doesn't matter your socioeconomic status. I mean, last year, a lot of people in Hollywood, like wealthy people, had to evacuate their mansions. You're not gonna be safe if you're in a place where fires happen, right? And the whole world has been topsy-turvy anyway, so it's not like just people in the poor countries have this issue. No. Remember, Australia was on fire last year, and the Amazon rainforest, you think, is a very moist place. The whole Amazon basin in Brazil last year was on fire. I mean, poor areas, rich areas, everybody all over the world has been, in harm's way as far as these natural disasters have been. It's just odd. I don't know. I pray for the whole world because we're all in this crazy end of the world times scenario right now. But I encourage you guys just to focus on giving love and light to the whole world, and then focusing on yourselves, lifting up in vibration, and just not worrying about it too much. If you're in harm's way, just get out of the way and let nature or man-made problems take care of themselves. In the case of PG&E, they're usually responsible for all these fires happening. What's really ridiculous about this is if they would have bothered to spend the money to put all of their power lines underground, like is the case in like the rest of the world, none of the fires would have happened, which is maddening. billions of dollars of property damage could have been prevented. And I had told them this like 12 years ago. I called them and I said, here's a little idea. And, I know other people, I called them and said, people I knew. I thought if we all called, so I told my friends, hey, let's just make a little phone call. It takes 10 minutes. And let's all give them the same idea. Eventually they're going to have to realize, well, we're going to have to bury all the lines. They should have done that in the Northern California forest anyway. In San Bernardino, too. All the foresty areas that should always have the power lines buried. They're unsightly anyway and cause fires. So, fires are more unsightly than the actual lines themselves. But anyway, all right. Tropical storm Laura, or Laura, forecast to move through or over portions of the greater Antilles through Monday. So that's it. That's all the news. Lots of water spouts and tropical storms. And the only fire news was from California. So let's send rain to California. Let's pray for rain. And send some sunshine to Antilles. But that's it. As far as our normal news is concerned, I'm going to go on over and read some headlines. There's a really neat article that came out on sciencealert.com. I'm going to read this one first. A stupendously huge raft of volcanic rock has floated across the ocean to Australia. Speaking of volcanoes and also Australia, a gigantic fleet of floating rocks spewed up from an underwater volcano in the Pacific Ocean has floated across the waves for thousands of miles. Eventually, it made it all the way to Australia, then started on a new project, revitalizing the world's largest, very threatened coral reef system. This unlikely chain of events may sound somewhat incredible, but it is an entirely true story, one that has played out dramatically over the last year, while highlighting the surprising, largely unseen ways in which Earth's natural environmental systems intersect with one another. Now, stranger still, is not the first time this has happened. An eruption in 2001 from the same submarine seamount, a nameless volcano simply dubbed Volcano F, or 0403-091. Oh my God. Could the scientists be any more romantic in their naming of the volcanoes? Volcano F? Oh my God. Anyway. Located near the Vava'u Islands in Tonga, they produced a similar rocky flotilla, which also voyaged on the currents to Australia over the space of a year. When this phenomenon occurs, it creates what is called a pumice raft, a floating platform composed of countless chunks of buoyant and highly porous volcanic rock. Oh, I love pumice stone. It's really good to get the calluses off your feet. It's really cool. It's kind of a magical rock. Anyway, each one of these small rocks attracts marine organisms, including algae, barnacles, corals, and more. These tiny travelers end up hitching a ride across the ocean, and they can help seed and replenish the endangered coral systems at their ultimate destination, which is the Great Barrier Reef. So they say each piece of pumice has its own little community that has been transported across the world's oceans, and we have had trillions of pieces of this pumice floating out there following the eruption, according to geologist Scott Bryan from Queensland University of Technology in Australia. Each piece of pumice is a home and a vehicle for an organism, and it's just tremendous. The sheer numbers of individuals and this diversity of species is being transported thousands of kilometers in only a matter of months, and it's really quite phenomenal. Brian knows a thing or two about these pumice migrations. He's been studying volcanic rafts for 20 years, investigating the 2001 eruption, its 2019 successor, which started washing up on Australian shores in April, and other underwater eruptions as well. So, this is crazy. And it goes on and on if you want to read this article. Again, this is on sciencealert.com. It's very strange. He does say, we don't understand why some pumice sinks during the eruption at the location and others can float for many months and years on the world's oceans. That is really crazy. I didn't know that it sinks. The pumice is very light. You could buy pumice stones and for landscaping, and I have floated it. Is fun to see a rock float. It's very odd. It's a strange feeling. So okay, here I just did something and I forgot. All right, here we go. Forgot where I was at. Okay. There's another article I found on Coast to Coast AM that I thought was very strange. I liked this one, so I thought I better read it to you guys. Man knocked out by falling cat. This is such a crazy video. There's a security footage. In fact, okay, here's an article by Tim Benon. A bizarre piece of security footage from China shows the shocking moment when a cat falls from the sky. Yeah, a cat falls from the sky and knocks an elderly man unconscious. This jaw-dropping scene reportedly occurred last month as Gao Fenghua was out walking his dog in the city of Harbin. Their normally routine bit of exercise took a very strange turn when a cat suddenly dropped from above and struck the man in the head. Now, incredibly, this falling feline hit the man with such force that it knocked him out and left him crumpled up in a heap on the pavement. Now, the cat, on the other hand, appeared just to be fine and quickly scrambled away from the injured senior citizen. In a testament to the loyalty of man's best friend, Fenghua's dog wound up, cornering the creature that took down its owner, and a brief confrontation ensued. Now, although the footage, which has gone viral online over the last few days, may seem amusing by some, it's hysterically funny at first. It really is. It's like, what? Oh my God, that cat is a bastard, right? Anyway, and it seems really funny at first. It'll make you laugh, and then you realize, though, it was no laughing matter to Fenghua. This man ended up spending 23 days in the hospital due to his injuries caused by this unexpected encounter with a cat, and he's expected to need additional physical therapy to fully recover from this unfortunate event. And that was on Coast to Coast AM. If you want to see the footage, or maybe you can look it up on YouTube, it has been gone viral as a viral video, so I'm sure you could just look up, falling cat hits man. I mean, that is just strange. Very, very odd thing. So, all right, now we're going to start reading the headlines from Reuters.com. We have never read from them before, and I found some real strange headlines. Reuters is spelled Reuters, and that's .com/news/ oddly enough. That's the page I'm on. If you want to come check it out for yourself or see the pictures. But I'm going to just go ahead and read some headlines that have been published on this website since June. Now, in a Palestinian zoo, there's been an animal baby boom after people have disappeared. Well, go figure. Peacocks, ostriches, and baboons joined in an animal baby boom at a Palestinian zoo during the coronavirus closure as, well, they let nature take its course, free from, of course, the human distractions. Very, very weird, right? I didn't know that animals could be so modest. Speaking of modesty, or lack thereof, Russian chefs in a naked lockdown protest after the virus has stripped them of their income. Yeah, it just sucks for restaurant owners and chefs everywhere. They don't get to cook for people. That's like a great pleasure for people who are running restaurants or who are chefs. It's just, they want to give people a wonderful experience. And it's like, if no one comes to the restaurant and no one eats your food, it's just depressing anymore, isn't it? Although in Los Angeles, they are starting to open up some of the restaurants, so it's, in some places it's starting to get normal, but I don't know about you guys, I still don't trust it. It just seems like it's too much, too fast, there's still people with the virus. It's still scary. Please keep wearing a mask, by the way, guys, please. So anyway, Russian restaurant owners have been stripped of their income by the coronavirus lockdown, so they are campaigning for their businesses to be allowed to reopen by posting pictures of themselves naked on social media. Well, I'm kind of all for that, actually. It's kind of funny. That's awesome. Well, a balloon-like object in a Japanese sky sets Twitter afire with talk of UFOs and even Godzilla. The appearance of a mysterious white object in the sky over northern Japan on Wednesday set the social media ablaze, with speculation ranging from UFOs to coronavirus and North Korean propaganda. I don't know what this is, but it kind of looks like just a balloon, like a big white beach ball in the sky. Oh, wow. This is fun. Thailand has a roving dog groomer. And so it says, Thailand's roving dog groomer is back in business. Volunteer pet groomer Kringkai That Wakorn. I just don't even know how to say this name. I'm not going to try to do it again. Anyway, he is thrilled to be back, helping out stray dogs in Thailand. Some are in urgent need of a shearing after they've waited 3 sweltering months for a trim. Wow, that's pretty cool. So, a Cuban man dons a full-body cardboard shield against coronavirus. Ever since the novel coronavirus reached Cuba, a tall cardboard box with arms and legs has been seen tottering about a Havana suburb, popping into the bakery or butcher shop, or browsing at the newspaper stand. That's hysterical. This guy's just like walking around with cardboard boxes on his head and around his torso. Okay, well, that's his coronavirus uniform, I suppose. That's, not altogether not unsmart. It's actually pretty smart. So this is an odd one. Japanese baseball fan enters an empty stadium by a robot. One lucky baseball fan was taken inside the otherwise empty Tokyo Dome for Yomiuri Giants' win on Tuesday via a monitor mounted on a robot that she controlled from her home. That's hilarious. This is a strange one. A taste of democracy. South Korea's 16-year fight for a green onion breakfast cereal. It's being hailed as a major win for democracy in South Korea. After 16 years in exile, a president this week triumphantly returned to claim his rightful place on the front of a box of green onion flavored cereal. And it says Kellogg's on the box. Oh my God. That's on Reuters.com if you want to go check it out. Kellogg's makes green onion flavored cereal in South Korea. That's very, very odd. Dancing robots have been replacing fans at Japanese baseball games. With their stadium devoid of fans due to the coronavirus restrictions, Japanese baseball team Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks have come up with an imaginative replacement: dancing robots. Well, isn't that wonderful and special that people can be replaced by robots now? Oh God, what is the world coming to? All right, I need to pause this and go find more headlines to read you guys tonight. Oh my God, it's 44 minutes and 44 seconds into the audio, and I have 44% on my phone, and it's 1:44 a.m. Remember when I said yesterday, lots of angel messages for those of you keeping track. Oh my God, there it is. So I'm going to read some headlines from Coast to Coast AM next. Scientists discover key to huge locust swarms by identifying the chemical signal that triggers, I'm like channeling Elmer Fudd over here, by identifying the chemical signal that triggers swarms to form. It may be possible to stop the swarming entirely. Well, you should have done something about this 6 months ago, before the locust took off across Africa, the Middle East, and part of Europe. But better late than never. Hopefully they're not too late. Researchers have hunted bats in the Thai jungle to find the origins of COVID-19. Well, I honestly think they should go to the laboratory that Dr. Fauci has some personal stake in. Ugh. Researchers have been trekking through the Thai countryside trying to catch bats in their caves to trace the murky origins of the coronavirus. Well, I don't think that the bats that supposedly had this in China are from Thailand. So I just think that sounds a bit far-fetched and kind of odd. So, besides the fact that it's created in a laboratory, but whatever. Entire cities could fit inside the moon's monstrous lava tubes. Whoa. These yawning subterranean caverns, which are shielded from punishing solar radiation, could be used as sites for future human bases. All right, cool. Anyone want to go to the moon with me? I mean, from the moon, are you going to say things like, the Earth is waxing today, and in 2 weeks the Earth will be waning. Oh, look, it's a full Earth. Oh, well, once in a blue Earth. That would be so strange. Okay. Mother believes the spirit of her late daughter was seen at Las Cruces Cemetery. Yeah, this is really creepy. Sandra Gonzalez, she says that she believes that her little girl, Fabiola, who died 2 years ago, was at the grave of another family's son because she was sent to comfort him and take him to heaven. There's a picture that was sent to me in my email from Coast to Coast AM. I subscribed to their little email newsletter, and I don't know, it's like really crazy. There's just this little girl, and she's like bending over this little boy's grave, and there's like all these flowers and stuff around, and it was security footage. Crazy stuff, man. And, let's just send Sandra Gonzalez some extra love, because that's got to be really hard to lose a toddler. That's got to be one of those really intensely sad things you just don't get over. So let's send her love and light. Anyway, a robot boat has completed a 3-week Atlantic mission. Well, that's interesting. A UK boat has just provided an impressive demonstration of the future of robotic maritime operations. Should we be happy about that? I mean, should we just allow robots to tool around the ocean in boats? I don't know. Researchers create an error-correcting cat. Oh. Schrodinger's cat concept used to correct quantum computing errors. Wow. Well, that's interesting. I'm not gonna go into that. If you want to read the article, it's on Coast to Coast AM /in the news. That's the exact website I'm on right now, in case you want to read the further the whole articles. I'm just reading the headlines. A strange creature has been captured on video at an Iceland waterfall. They don't know if it's a strange new cryptid or a hoax. Very interesting. We might come back to that. Let's see if we could get through these other headlines. Fame, fortune, and flying saucers. Oh, well, this sounds like my life. Well, okay, 1 out of 3. So far, 1 out of 3. Well, we're hoping for all 3, but yeah, okay. Detailed history of some of the first UFO fans and promoters in an article called The Saucers That Time Forgot. Oh, very interesting. On Coast to Coast AM, of course. The story of Hibagone, the Japanese Bigfoot. Legend of 1970 sighting lives on. All right. California wildfires have spawned fire-nados. And that's crazy. According to the Los Angeles Times, forecasters have actually posted fire tornado warnings. That is really creepy, isn't it? I mean, sharknadoes, that'd maybe be a little bit creepier. But also fun, because, hey, flying sharks. It's crazy. Yeah, when the Paradise Fire was raging out of control, there were fire-nados there also. I don't remember ever hearing of that as a kid either, have you? I mean, I think some of this stuff is new. I mean, water spouts have been around, but not like they are today, like suddenly everywhere and coming up onto land and turning into tornadoes. I never heard of that when I was a kid. Fire-nados either. It's odd. So, well, this is odd. Marimo, the extremely rare algae balls that make great low-maintenance pets. What? That's just really strange. It has a fascinating spherical growth form, and I guess, according to Oddity Central, it's been a mystery in biology, and it's weird that you'd want that as a pet, though. Agagrophila linnaea algae. I don't think I said that right. Agagrophila linnaea algae. I don't know. Let's just move on from there. A woman's moving doll in a TikTok video goes viral. They don't know if it's a hoax or if a woman's doll just actually moved. I've seen a lot of videos of this kind of thing, and some are really obvious fakes, and some of them really had me getting the chills even on a hot day during the daytime. Some of these just gave me the creeps. I love the haunted doll videos. Sometimes it's fun to watch, even though it's creepy. Death Valley topped at 130 degrees Fahrenheit, setting a possible global heat record. And it says, according to space.com, the American Southwest is cooking. Yeah, well, it is called Death Valley for a reason, and yeah, it is hot. In fact, I took my kids through that desert, through part of that desert, and we went through a city called Hell on the way to Las Vegas. Literally, we ate lunch. We ate lunch in Hell. Oh, yeah, that was odd. Okay, according to Scientific American, vastly extended lifespans would bring dazzling opportunities and daunting risks. What if we could live for 1 million years? Very odd, right? There's another TikTok video in which doll taps its feet on a shelf in a closet. So that's very odd. I have a feeling that's going to be a new trend. Spate of UFO sightings blankets Georgia. Oh, wow. According to Patch, a summary of recent UFO sightings have been cited in the Peach State. Georgia peaches. Yeah, that's crazy. Well, maybe they came there for the peaches. Did COVID-19 come from space? Oh, God, here we go. According to Discover, did the virus arrive on a meteorite? And some scientists think maybe. No. Not unless that meteorite was funded by Dr. Fauci. I'm just kidding. I'm picking on him because I really believe he's kind of behind the virus. He's profiting off the virus. It's all very, very sick. All right. Do psychedelic trip worlds really exist? Oh, that's a very good question. Do the psychedelic drugs really open up doors of perception? According to Psychology Today, that's what they're speculating. That's odd. Like, seriously, like if you got super, super high and went to another world, it'd be weird if that world actually exists. And it's not just part of your subconscious mind trying to fill in the blanks because your synapses are overfiring or something. That would be odd, right? Can empathy pills stop the pandemic? An ethicist suggests a little dose of compassion might be in order. Yeah, really, actual compassion and empathy. That would be what would make people wear masks. Massive sinkhole has swallowed up cars in China. My God. 24 vehicles have disappeared beneath the ground after an unexpected sinkhole opened up this week. Very, very crazy. In 14th century Florence, some residents have socially distanced and others have hit the bars. So, a contemporary debate would feel familiar to Europeans who were alive when the bubonic plague arrived. Yeah, that's crazy. The earliest art in the British Isles have been discovered in Jersey. These are engravings made by hunter-gatherers living between 23,000 and 14,000 years ago. And here's a really fun one. 750 million genetically engineered mosquitoes have been approved for release in Florida Keys. Of course, people are expressing concern over this Jurassic Park experiment, according to CNN. Very, very odd. Yeah, these mosquitoes will, when they breed with other mosquitoes, will pretty much kill off all the mosquitoes. And I don't know if we should be for this. Don't birds eat mosquitoes? What are they going to eat now? A massive Darth Vader sea bug has been pulled from the waters near Indonesia. Well, that's what they eat. Oh, it's a newly described species, and it is the biggest isopod known to science, according to Live Science. And if you want to read about this, a local woman has collected more than 60 accounts of Bigfoot sightings in Idaho. So that's according to the East Idaho News. And there you go. There you have it. That is the weird and odd news for the week. I hope you guys enjoyed this week of Metaphysical Soul Speak, the podcast. And if you have, please like, subscribe, favorite, or whatever it's called on the platform or app you're using to listen to me. And please tell everybody in your Facebook groups and your Twitter feed and your Instagram followers all about the show. Help me get the word out. And thank you for those of you who have done it. My numbers are growing, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for you, and I love you very much. I cannot have a show without listeners, so we're in this together. Thank you for your continued love and support. Well, that's it. I'll be back on Monday with all unique and original programming, just like always. But until then, I'm signing off with peace and joy and the high vibes of the Holy Fifth Dimension. Till next time, guys. Peace. Happy August, guys. I wanted to extend to you my birthday special. I was born this month and I wanted to do something for you guys. Normally, my readings are $111 for a tarot reading or a psychic mediumship reading. That means I can basically help you talk to any of your deceased loved ones, your higher self, even God himself, or any of the ascended masters that you've always wanted to have a conversation with. What you need to do is just contact me at mermaidgirl888 on Instagram. Just direct message me and let me know you're interested in having the birthday special $88 reading. That is $33 less than my normal price. And as always, my cloud readings are also available at $33. So there you have it. Happy August. I look forward to hearing from you.